Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. On this channel, we spend our time looking at fantasy of all sorts, from books to movies to video games, and applying the characters within into the tabletop game Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. Today, though, we're going to be looking at a core mechanic of D&D itself, specifically one of the new races that came out in the Spelljammer books, the Plasmoid. Plasmoids are a very unique race, as they are literally balls of plasma that can take different forms. But exactly how does that work in a D&D setting? Let's find out. Now, first of all, they can be medium or small. It's up to you to pick, and based on which kind of character you want to play, this can work fantastic. So 10 out of 10 for variety. You have a speed of 30 feet, which is a very standard speed, so 9 out of 10 there. And you have the amorphous power. This means that as long as you don't have any objects on your body, so you don't have armor or weapons or gear or anything like that, you can squeeze through 1-inch gaps because you can turn into a tiny little slit or tube or whatever. And this can be very handy. It just sucks you can't bring your gear with you, but it makes sense why you can't. You also have advantage on grapple checks to make and escape grapples regardless of what you're wearing. So that's handy. This is a unique feature that could be very, very specifically useful. I could definitely see, like, escaping a place where you've been held prisoner. Basically, it's impossible to contain you unless you're in an airtight box. 9 out of 10. Pretty special. They also have dark vision, which is great, so, 10 out of 10 for that. And they can hold their breath for 1 hour, which is kind of interesting that they have to breathe at all, but I guess they have to have oxygen in their body. So either way, holding your breath underwater makes it very easy to go into vacuums or underwater, 9 out of 10. Then they have the natural resilience power. They have resistance to both acid and poison damage, two real common damage types that come from the monsters in the game. They also have advantage against the poison condition. 2 damage resistances is very rare in D&D. I say just straight up 10 out of 10 for that, plus the advantage against poison is nice. Finally, they have the shape self power. This lets them change the basic shape of their body. They have 2 defaults, a blob with no limbs at all, or a humanoid-like figure with 2 legs, 2 arms, and a head sort of thing. They can go to 1 limb or to 1 leg, 1 arm if they want to, but I'm not sure why they would do that. I also don't know exactly why you'd turn into a blob, maybe to try to camouflage somewhere. They also have the ability to create a little pseudopod, which is basically a long extension arm that lets them use objects at a 10-foot range instead of a 5-foot range, which is kind of like having reach, except you can't attack at this range, you can just use objects. This is a weird one. Like, I feel like this one doesn't really have a whole lot of purpose built into it. It's more for flavor than anything. I don't quite get this. I gave this a 5 out of 10 because I'm not really sure why this is in here. Notice I haven't talked about ability score improvements or languages. That's because in the newer D&D books, those are actually up to the player. You used to get a standard +2, +1, or 3 +1s of your choice, as well as picking 2 languages of your choice, usually common and another one. So this doesn't come into the rankings anymore. Personally, I wish there was a standard that was kind of included in the book, and then if you wanted to deviate from it, then you could. But there's nothing. There's nothing written down, so I can't give them a baseline, so that doesn't come into it. Overall, you rank all these things, and they got a lot of good powers. Some weird ones, some good ones, 9 out of 10 overall. There's nothing wrong with most of their abilities, and they, in fact, are quite good in a lot of situations. So, I say, if you want to play a Plasmoid and be a kind of ooze creature, go for it. I think you'd enjoy it. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below, and keep your eyes peeled for more race reviews coming down the line soon. Have a good one, my friends.